When you draw a line in your life, you are not pushing people away. You are protecting your energy, your peace, and your worth. Too often we are taught that saying no makes us selfish, that choosing our own well-being is a betrayal to others. But the truth is, boundaries are the language of self-love.
They are how you teach the world how to treat you. Think about it every time you say yes. When your heart screams no, you abandon yourself a little. Every time you allow someone to cross a line, even after you've expressed your needs, you teach them that your voice does not matter.
And over time, the weight of all those silent sacrifices builds into resentment, exhaustion, and even self-doubt. Boundaries prevent that they keep your love pure, your energy whole, and your relationships healthy. Understand, these boundaries are not walls to shut people out. They are doors with locks, and you hold the key. You decide who can come and how far they can go, and when it is time for them to step out without those locks, without those limits, you invite chaos, disrespect, and imbalance with them. You create order, safety, mutual respect.
And here's what many don't realize: the people who truly love you, the ones who see your worth, will never be offended by your boundaries. They may not always understand them, but they will honor them. The only people who resist your boundaries are the ones who benefited from you having none.
So do not confuse guilt with love. Do not confuse silence with harmony. Boundaries are the invisible fences that allow your garden to grow without being trampled.
They are the rules that remind you and others that your time, your body, your mind, your soul are sacred spaces, not open fields for anyone to run through. Real love is meant to be a safe place, not a battlefield. It is meant to build you, not break you.
Too many people confuse attachment, control, or dependency with love. They endure pain under the disguise of loyalty, but love at its truest form is not supposed to leave you questioning your worth or begging for the very thing that should be freely given.
When love hurts more than it heals, it begins to strip away your identity. You find yourself compromising pieces of who you are just to keep someone else comfortable. You silence your own voice to avoid conflict. You tolerate disrespect because you fear being alone.
And slowly you start to forget what it feels like to be loved with gentleness, with kindness, with compassion. Love is not supposed to be a cycle of highs and lows that leave you emotionally dizzy. Should not make you anxious, waiting for the next argument or the next betrayal.
Healing love is steady. It brings calm. Even in chaos brings safety. Even in stormy seasons, it makes you feel stronger, not smaller. Think about how a flower grows, doesn't bloom when the soil is dry.
When the roots are starved or when the sun is blocked, it blooms when it receives consistent care and nourishment. And like human hearts are no different, love is the water, the sunlight, and the protection. If what you call love feels more like drought in darkness, then it is not love.
It is survival dressed in pretty words. Here is the truth. Many avoid real love. Requires effort, but it should not require suffering. It may challenge you, but it should not diminish you. It may correct you, but it should never crush you.
Love that heals allows room for mistakes, forgiveness, growth, but it does not thrive on manipulation, control, or constant wounds. Love should leave you with more joy than tears. It should inspire you to rise higher, not drag you deeper. It should feel like a sanctuary, not a sentence.
When it heals, gives you the courage to face the world, knowing you have a place where your soul is understood. When it hurts more than it heals, becomes a chain that keeps you from becoming who you are meant to be. Family is not just about shared it is about shared energy, shared love, and shared growth. There are people who carry your last name, but will never clap for your success. Then there are people who don't share a drop of your blood, yet they see your light and push you to shine even brighter. Those are the ones who deserve the title of family. Think about how it feels when you accomplish something. You've worked hard for a promotion, a personal milestone, or even just a small step toward your goals. True family, whether related by blood or chosen by bond, will stand beside you, clapping, smiling, and cheering you on, not because they gain anything from your success, but because your joy brings them joy. They don't feel threatened by your growth. They feel inspired by it.
They don't compare themselves to you. They support you with a full heart. On the other hand, there are people you may have known all your life, people tied to you through his story or heritage who secretly flinch when you rise. They give half-hearted congratulations or try to downplay your accomplishments with subtle words. They may even remind you of your past mistakes when you're celebrating your present victories. That is not celebration, that is quiet resentment disguised as concern.
And it is important to recognize the difference. The people who truly celebrate you don't just show up when they stand by you, when you're building, when you're doubting, when you're still figuring things out. They don't just appear for the finished product.
They are present in the process. They invest time, energy, and encouragement, because they believe in who you are, not just what you achieve. Blood alone does not guarantee loyalty, respect, or love. Many have discovered that sometimes strangers treat them with more kindness than relatives ever did. Sometimes friends who became family love you in ways that those tied to you by birth never could. That is because real family is chosen by the heart. It is not limited by lineage. It is not bound by tradition. It is defined by who shows up, who supports, and who genuinely rejoices in your growth.
The ones who celebrate you give you the freedom to be your authentic self. They don't ask you to shrink so they can feel tall. They don't ask you to dim your light so theirs can shine brighter. They don't compete with you because they understand there is enough room for all of us to rise. They clap.
They encourage, they remind you that you are capable, and their celebration fuels you to keep going. You can have all the money in the world, all the luxury, all the recognition, but if your mind is restless, if your spirit is heavy, then you are not rich at all. What good is a mansion if you cannot sleep at night? What good is a fancy car if your heart is racing with anxiety every time you sit behind the wheel? True wealth is not measured by what is in your bank account. It is measured by what is in your soul. The calm, the balance, the quiet joy that no one can put a price on. People often chase financial success, believing it will buy them peace. While money can solve problems, it cannot solve emptiness. It can buy medicine, but it cannot buy health. It can buy a bed. It cannot buy sleep.
It can buy company, but it cannot buy genuine love. Peace of mind is the kind of wealth that no amount of gold can purchase, because it comes only when your life, your choices, your spirit are in alignment. Peace of mind means you are not constantly looking over your shoulder, worry about betrayal.
It means you are not enslaved by other people's opinions. Not waking up every morning trying to prove your worth to the world means you have learned to let go of what you cannot control, to forgive what you cannot change, to walk away from what disturbs your soul. That is wealth, because it allows you to live life fully without the heavy chains of fear and worry. Think about it. There are people with modest incomes living simple lives who radiate happiness because they are free inside.
And there are millionaires, billionaires, even drowning in depression, chained to stress, desperate for a moment of silence within themselves. The difference is not the size of their fortune, but the state of their mind.
Peace is the real treasure, because once you have it, everything else becomes lighter. Peace of mind is the wealth that allows you to enjoy what you already have. Without it, blessings feel like burdens. Without it, success feels like a prison. But with it, even the smallest things, a cup of tea, a walk in nature, moment of stillness, feel like abundance. It is not about what surrounds you, but about what rests within you.
So many people stay in relationships, in friendships, in family, intimates, not because they are happy, but because they are afraid of being labeled selfish or heartless. If they choose to leave, but choosing to walk away is not a sign of hate, it is not a lack of love.
It is a declaration that your well-being, your peace, and your dignity matter to love. Does not require you to accept pain as the price of connection. Love does not demand that you keep sacrificing your happiness for someone else's comfort. Sometimes the greatest act of love for both yourself and the other person is to recognize when the relationship has become more destructive than nurturing. Walking away is not abandonment. It is alignment. It is choosing a path where your spirit can breathe again. When you walk away, you are not erasing the memories or the care you once had. You are simply choosing not to lose yourself in the process of holding on to someone else. You are refusing to keep pouring from an empty cup. You are honoring the truth that staying in a space where you are unappreciated, disrespected, or drained is not love, it is self. Neglect and understand this. You can love someone deeply and still know they are not good for your soul. You can carry gratitude for what they once gave you, and still accept that their season in your life has ended. Walking away does not delete the love, it redefines it. It turns that love inward, reminding you that you deserve to be treated with the same tenderness and care that you so freely give to others. Many confuse endurance with loyalty, believing that to prove love you must withstand endless hurt. But loyalty to another should never come at the expense of betrayal to yourself. When you walk away, you are not saying, "I never loved you." You are saying, "I love me enough not to let this continue destroying me." That is strength, not weakness. That is wisdom, not cruelty. Walking away is choosing self-respect over repeated disappointment. It is choosing growth over stagnation. It is choosing freedom over chains disguised as connection.
And while others may never understand your choice, you will know deep within that it was not an act of rejection, but an act of protection. Walking away is the moment when you stop seeking validation from others and start finding it within yourself. The body knows what the mind tries to ignore. You can tell yourself that someone cares, that they mean well, that their presence in your life is necessary. But your spirit cannot be fooled. Energy has a language of its own. It speaks through how you feel when you're around people. If you leave every conversation exhausted, if you walk away feeling smaller, dimmer, or drained, that is not a coincidence, that is truth showing itself. We often try to rationalize the heaviness. We say, maybe I'm overthinking, maybe it's just me, maybe I'm being too sensitive. But sensitivity is not weakness, it is awareness. Heaviness is your intuition whispering, pay attention. Something here is not safe, not healthy, not right for you. The energy you absorb around people impacts your own. When someone's presence consistently makes you feel burdened instead of lifted, it's a sign. Healthy connections bring lightness. They don't have to be perfect, but they should feel natural, balanced, and nourishing. When you sit with people who truly want the best for you, you feel seen.
You feel supported. You feel free to be yourself. Their energy doesn't weigh you down. It energizes you. It sparks joy, creativity, and calm. That is what alignment feels like. But when someone's energy is rooted in jealousy, in control, in resentment, you will feel it without them saying a word.
They don't have to insult you directly. Their silence, their sighs, their looks, even the tone in their voice carries weight. You feel it in your chest, in your spirit, in the way your mood shifts. That is why energy never lies. It tells the truth that words try to cover.
Pay attention to how your body reacts in the presence of others. Do you tense up? Do you feel anxious before seeing them? Do you find yourself needing to recover emotionally after spending time together? Those are not small signs, those are warnings.
On the other hand, do you feel lighter, more peaceful, more encouraged when you're with them? That is the power of positive energy, confirming you are in safe company. Trusting energy means honoring your own internal compass.
It means you stop doubting yourself just because someone else tells you they care. Words can be rehearsed. Energy cannot be faked for long. Eventually what is real will always be felt. And if what you feel is heaviness, if you sense something is off, you owe it to yourself to listen.
So often we are conditioned to believe that holding on makes us strong. Clinging to relationships, to memories, to situations is proof of love, loyalty, and perseverance. But strength is not measured by how tightly you can grip something that is breaking you. Real strength is measured by the courage to release what no longer serves your growth. Letting go is not about giving up. It is about seeing clearly. It is about understanding that not everything or everyone is meant to stay in your life. Forever is wisdom in recognizing when a chapter is closed. When you hold on to what is already over, you rob yourself of new beginnings. It is like gripping the handle of a door that has already been locked, refusing to move, while another door of opportunity waits wide open behind you. The wisdom of letting go is trusting that what is meant, for you will never need to be forced, begged, or chased. Letting go does not erase the love or the lessons. It does not deny the time you invested or the memories you created. It honors them.
says this season had its purpose, but now is complete that is wisdom the ability to appreciate what was without chaining yourself to what no longer is weakness is staying in a place where you are constantly disrespected, undervalued, or diminished just because you fear the unknown.
Wisdom is stepping into uncertainty with faith that peace, healing, better are waiting for you. It takes far more courage to walk away than to stay stuck, staying in what is familiar, even when it hurts, feels safe, because at least it is known. But letting go requires trust in yourself, trust in life.
Trust in something greater that is guiding your path, that is wisdom, because it acknowledges that clinging to what is broken will not fix it, and sacrificing your peace will not save it. Think of nature, trees, their leaves every fall, not because they want to, but because they must.
If the tree held onto every dead leaf, it would never make space for new growth. In the spring, the act of letting go is built into the design of life itself. It is not weakness, is the deepest form of intelligence written into creation.
And sometimes letting go is not about people, but about versions of yourself, old beliefs, old fears, old habits they cannot carry you into the next level of your life. Holding on to them is like dragging heavy luggage on a journey meant to be walked with freedom.
Wisdom is understanding that release is not loss, but transformation. It is what allows you to step into the next chapter, lighter, freer, stronger. At the end of the day, life is too short to carry people, habits, or situations that drain the very light out of you.
You owe it to yourself to protect your peace, to honor your worth, and to choose freedom over familiarity. Walking away does not make you cold. Setting boundaries does not make you cruel. Laying go does not make you weak. These are acts of wisdom, acts of self-love, acts of courage.
The truth is this: not everyone is meant to go with you to the next chapter of your life. That's okay, because the ones who truly love you will celebrate your growth, respect your boundaries, honor your energy, bring peace instead of chaos. That is your real family, that is your true circle.
So trust your spirit. Listen to the weight or the lightness you feel around people. Protect your mind, your energy, and your heart. And above all, remember the greatest gift you can ever give yourself is the freedom to choose peace over pain, healing over hurt, and love over fear.